Hello and welcome to Credit Chat Live. I'm Destiny White, your co-host, and I am joined by Christina Roman today. And we are in for an awesome treat with our very special guest, Chellie Campbell, who has truly such an amazing and unique background. She's actually a former musical comedy actress turned entrepreneur who founded the Financial Stress Reduction Workshop in 1990. She is the author of three best-selling books, The Wealthy Spirit, Zero to Zillionaire, and From Worry to Wealthy. So if you're living on peanut butter and jelly and would like to afford deli, call Chellie. I absolutely love that. So, Chellie, do you have anything you want to say to our listeners about yourself that I didn't cover?
Well, you covered it really well. I'll just say I went to UC Santa Barbara and studied drama, and I was a classmate of Michael Douglas. And we did a show together. And my young physical therapist said, "Who?" And then I said, "No, he was a movie star. He still is. He's still working." But I came to
Wow.
Hollywood to be a star, and that did not happen. I would always say in groups, I'd say, "Anybody recognize me?" One time a hand went up and said, "I do. I recognize you." I said, "Thanks, Mom." But I did Hello Dolly with Martha Ray, and I did a lot of work for Disney, Walt Disney World in Florida, and Disneyland, sang in the parks and did shows. And I discovered that it was more fun in school than it was as a profession. You're always looking for work. And in one of the side jobs, I fell into a secretarial job, and they kept promoting me. And suddenly I'm the office manager and I'm in charge of the money. And I said, "Y'all, I don't know anything about that." And they said, "We'll teach you, you'll learn it." And I went, "Okay," because I have a friend who says when I'm about to take a risk, I consider the downside. If it's not death, I do it. So come to find out, I love this job and I had so much fun. And I eventually owned a bookkeeping service. And while I did that, I had 13 employees. And I became a partner and I bought the partners out. And I just said, people aren't getting the right information. Financial literacy isn't taught in our school system. And all you ever see on the internet or in the news or anything is save your money for retirement. I said, "But what about now? Retirement's not happened for years, decades." So, and besides which, most people who talk about money are doing accounting and they're plus and minus and budget and save. And people get bored stiff. Well, as a musical comedy gal, I got to make it fun. So I would always go to networking meetings and introduce myself by saying, "You're going to be rich tomorrow if you take my class today." And then I'd go on and introduce what I do. So I try and keep it fun because we got to think positive. Everybody knows
Right.
about thinking positive, but they don't do it with money. It's all fear based. "Oh my God, I hope I don't run out of money." And guess what? If that's your thought, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You'll always be afraid you don't have enough.
Yes. And so we had a credit chat, which is where we first met Chellie. We first worked with Chellie, or at least I did. And it was a credit chat about the power of money mindfulness. And I just was so lit up by Chellie's responses to it. The way she talked about money was so fun and fresh and inspiring also. So that's why we initially told Destiny, like, we have to have Chellie on this credit chat live. That way she can share it with more people, because I just loved your mindset and that approach toward money. And I really want this to be a year where we can inspire people. You mentioned that people approach money like it's a fearful topic to talk about and it's a boring topic to talk about. But I love that we can give it a little bit of life. And I want to do that with this conversation, really send people into 2024 with that inspired approach toward money.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to help do that because that's my mission in life is, doing marketing and sales and getting the word out and all of that. The only reason I do it is because I have a little sign on my computer. It says, "Somebody needs your help." And I want to help because money is fun. I want to put the fun back in funds. It's fun to have it. It's fun to get it. It's fun to win it. It's fun to make it. It's fun to spend it on stuff you really like. But you have
Yes.
to fall in love with spending money on stuff you have to do. I mean, you got to pay your taxes. I'll tell you a story. It just comes up for me right now. I was at a networking breakfast, and this man was angry about his taxes. I can't stand what the government does with my money, and they're spending money on this and that, and I don't believe in that. And I just sat there and waited because you can't interrupt somebody who's on a tear like that. I just waited. And he looked at me finally, and I said, well, none of my money goes there. He said, what? I said, my money doesn't go to the military. My money doesn't go to the greedy people who don't need it or not sharing. He goes, where do you think your money goes? I said, my money goes to the space program. I love the space program. My money goes to feed the poor. My money goes to welfare recipients. My money goes to Social Security so we'll all have money when we're old. And he looked at me, he goes, you don't know your money goes there. I said, well, you don't know your money goes those other places either, but I'm happy and you're not.
Aha.
Yes, it's all about the mindset. It's all about thinking about the positive, right?
Yes. And most of us have grown up not being trained about money in any way and not necessarily been given good things to think about money. There's a lot of negativity, like the root of money or the love of money is the root of all evil, right? We all
Mm-hmm.
know it.
Of all evil.
And you can never be too rich or too thin, or you have to work hard for the money. It's all negative stuff. I ask people in my classes all the time, so what did you grow up thinking about money? Oh, the other people have it and you don't, and there's never enough. And I said, well, how about this? People love to give you money. And they went, huh? I said, say it this way. People love to give me money. And just you lighten and brighten and smile. And then when you're in conversation with somebody and somebody says money, you just kind of smile. I was on a radio show once. This guy, well, my first book came out, The Wealthy Spirit, which is a page a day for every day of the year, with a story, a quote, and a positive affirmation about money. So I was on a bunch of radio shows, and this one was Big Fork, Montana. The interviewer was Tommy B, and the letters of the radio station were K Bull. And I went, uh-oh, I don't think he's going to really like the whole affirmation thing. Sure enough, he introduced me and then he said, now you're not going to tell me that saying these silly little phrases is going to make me more money. And I said, well, yeah, I'm going to tell you that. He says, well, you got some splaining to do. I said, well, okay. For example, if a friend walks into the room and he's really angry about something, can you tell he's angry before he says anything? Because, yeah. I said, if he's really happy and he walks into the room without saying anything, can you tell he's happy? He goes, yeah. I said, that's because you're wearing your thinking. Think about that. We're all reflecting. See, in poker, you're supposed to have a poker face and not show anything, not go get your cards and go, you know, because nobody will call you. But we walk around all the time and people say stuff and we go like this or we go like that. And he goes, but how's that going to make me money? I said, do you go advertise your radio station? Do you go give speeches? Do you go networking? He says, yeah, I do that all the time. I said, and do you meet happy, joyful, successful people and angry, whiny, complaining people? He goes, yeah, I mean both kinds. I said, now do you sometimes hire the people you meet, like to do your gardening or to print your brochures or business cards, stuff like that? He goes, oh, yeah, I hire some people. I said, so do you hire the happy people or the angry, whiny, complaining people? He goes, well, I hire the happy, successful people. I said, why? He said, well, if they look happy, they're probably good at their job and they're successful, and then I'm not going to have problems. I said, bingo. That's why you say these little phrases, because it makes you think happy about your money, happy about your possibilities, happy about your life, happy about meeting new people. And then people want to work with you and they hire you. Bingo, you make more money. It
Absolutely.
just
I
makes
love that. And that is so true. That
Yeah.
is so true. How you approach things, the persona that you put on, putting a smile on your face just opens up the door for so many more opportunities rather than when you've closed yourself up and you're in a meeting or you're at an event, you have your arms crossed. You don't want to talk to anybody.
best words in any language. Somebody's name and thank you. Okay? And we don't say thank you enough. And people post negative reviews all over the place. But very few people write great reviews. And you've got to
Right.
do the great reviews so that people are happy because they will see your name and thank you and they will remember you. I once wrote a letter to the Orleans Casino in Las Vegas because they had had a big ladies tournament there and they ran it so well. I just thought they were wonderful. So I came home and I wrote them a letter. I wrote a letter to the poker room manager. I mentioned several of the people that worked there by name. And I said, you guys are so great. You were so organized. This was wonderful. The next time I went to this casino, all of the dealers talked to me. Everybody mentioned me. And one of the guys I knew, I said, why is everybody being so nice? He said, well, remember that letter you wrote? I said, how do you know about that letter? He said, well, the manager posted it in the break room and all of us read it. Who knew that was going to happen? But I just like to go around brightening people's day. It brightens your day. Just give a compliment. Like, you gals are so lovely and so deliciously happy and helpful and kind. And I so appreciate being invited to come here today. And so I just want to tell you, you're just wonderful.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual, which is why I was so excited that you said that you would participate in this live because I just love your spirit.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm delighted to be here to spread the good word, the good money word.
Yes. What beliefs about money can impact your success with money? What thoughts can make people a little bit more successful with money?
Well, I have a whole list of affirmations that people can get on my website. And it's just one of the things that's really important is I'd say financial stress reduction is three things: earn more money, spend less money, or find another way to get what you want. So, what's the opportunity? What are the possibilities? I had a woman in my class once who she was a massage therapist and she wanted to go to Australia for a vacation. And she didn't have money for it. It wasn't on her budget, but she invented an affirmation. I now receive free first class travel and accommodations all around the world. She said she's a physical therapist, so she said, you got to get your body involved. So she did this for about a month. And a woman she knew who was a travel agent and got a lot of freebies, but had a big family and gave them all there. She said, I don't know why I've thought of you, but I just got this coupon for free airfare anywhere in the world round trip, and I'm going to give it to you. And then she kept on doing it because she didn't have a place to stay yet. She was talking with some friends, and this guy goes, well, do you know where you're going to stay? Are you going to go to Sydney? She said, well, I haven't really planned the whole thing yet, and I don't know where I'm staying. He goes, well, I own a condo in Sydney. I've had a family living there for 5 years, but they just moved out, and I have a new family moving in 2 months. But for 2 months, it's empty. If you want to stay there and like just keep the lights on and water the plants, I'll be happy to have you stay there for free.
Wow.
Okay. So she went to Australia for 3 weeks and spent about $200 on incidentals. That was it.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
These things happen. I hear from
That's
people
crazy.
all the time that these things happen. Just being out in the world, I say not only do you need to think positive, but you have to take positive action. I call it sending out ships. Send out a ship. You can't wait for your ship to come in if you never send any out.
I really
So it's like the people that just want to do the affirmations part. I go, well, how many affirmations do you think you'd have to do in front of a piano before you could play it?
that's right.
Maybe you have to learn to read music and take some lessons and learn to read music and all of that kind of thing. And then practice a lot. Because I think we're spiritual beings having a material existence, and that means we're supposed to master both of them, not deny one or the other.
Check.
So I just say think positive and then take action.
It's so funny. I remember anytime my husband and I, we struggled a lot when we were younger. When we first started dating, we were living paycheck to, the Wednesday before paycheck. And I would always tell my husband when we would be at our most like destitute, when it was just kind of like $5 in our checking account, a check would show up out of nowhere in the mail, something that a bill he had overpaid, or he had won something, or it was just always so random that money would randomly show up, and I would tell him money falls out of the sky for you. So anytime we've had like a financial issue, I say it's going to be fine because money always falls out of the sky, when we least expect it. And then it usually does happen. I think just recently we got a check in the mail because I had overpaid on a health bill. And it was a couple $100s that I had overpaid, but I didn't realize it. And so it's just funny. I'm like, man, money really does just fall out of the sky sometimes.
It does, and good for you because you've been doing that as an affirmation and you believe in it and you don't worry and stay with fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is a misuse of the imagination. A pessimist builds dungeons in the air, not castles, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really so amazing to just have it in your mind. Like I tell people to budget, and people kind of cringe and go, budget. I say it stands for baby, you deserve getting everything. And they go, oh, I go, but maybe not all today. So you want to have 3 budgets. I have complicated names for them: low, medium, and high. And where we need to spend a lot of time is looking at our high budget. What do I have to do to get there? Do I have to ask for a raise or a bonus? If I'm in my own business, do I have to make another sale? Do I need to raise my prices? And all of these things are hard. There's a book called Women Don't Ask, which is great training for any of the women listening. And the men who want to know why their women aren't asking for more money or aren't being paid more, it's because we expect to be like in school where we just do our job and people will notice that we're doing a great job and come and shower us with raises, bonuses, and promotions. And in school, that worked. In the workplace, it doesn't work. You have to ask, and men are 8 times more likely to negotiate their starting salary than a woman. And if we say yes to 25,000 and the man says, no, I got to have 35 and they settle at 30, everything else being equal, raises and bonuses, she started at 25,000, he starts at 30,000. Over 30 years, he will make 557,000 more dollars just from that one mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at the payoff and we have to look at the request. So in budgeting, one of the things I wanted to tell you was that I had stuff that I wanted that wasn't in the budget. Ever happened to you?
Yep.
Right?
Always.
So I made a secondary budget of the things I'd get when I got some more money. And I'm writing these things down and I remember there was some tax bill or something I needed to replace equipment or whatever. It was $800 I had to come up with. So I wrote it down on my magic money list. I called it magic money, need magic money for this.
Yeah.
And so 3 weeks after I wrote it down, I got a letter in the mail from a bank, from a real estate transaction that had closed 2.5 years before, but somebody had come in and done an audit and I was owed money. So enclosed was a check for $804.
insane,
Wow.
insane. And I
I
totally,
mean, it's like magic. I always tell.
Uh-huh. I
it
love
is,
that.
it is like
I
magic.
have a whole barrel full of magic wands that people send me from doing my work. And it's so lovely because I want everybody to have the magic. We
Mm-hmm.
all benefit. If you have more money, you can pay more money to me, and I can pay more money to her, and they can pay more money to them. It's
Yeah,
I
all
love it.
good. We want everybody to be rich. Why not?
Yeah.
I love that.
Kelly, I just wanted to say that I'm just loving everything that you're saying. And mostly to me, it's resonating as manifestation. That's something that I
Yeah.
am personally so passionate about. I'm also a spiritual being. And I've learned that your cells listen to you when you speak a certain way. When you speak negatively and you talk poorly about others and question how they got what they have instead of focusing on what you can have and that wonderfulness, greatness is coming your way, then that is what will happen. Greatness will come your way or it won't
The
if you speak
opposite.
into yourselves in a negative way. So I definitely just resonate with the positivity and manifestations and affirmations. And I wanted to just quickly ask you, what are some abundance affirmations that our listeners can say to themselves every single day since we're coming into a new year? I'm sure people would be interested in hearing wonderful affirmations to attract money, attract wealth, attract abundance.
Well, let me give you a little story as a preface because I want people to know these things work. So when I was trying to get a book deal, I took classes and I read books on how to get published and I got an agent. And then we got some almost deals and a deal that fell through. And she finally found a woman who wanted to talk to me. So she said there are some things she'd like to change. And I said, well, like what? And she said, well, just talk to her and get acquainted and see what happens. So we had this wonderful conversation, getting to know each other. And then I said, well, my agent says you want to change some stuff about the book. And she said, yes. Well, first of all the affirmations have to come out. And I thought, well, this woman isn't publishing my book. But I got feisty at this point, and I said, yeah, why do you think that? She said, Chellie, there are 97 affirmation books out there. I can't go to my 40 salespeople and say we're doing another affirmation book. I said, oh, you think everybody knows this already? She goes, yeah. I said, well, let me ask you a question. She said, what? I said, are you doing them? She goes, I said,
Thank you.
positive affirmations about money specifically. Are you doing them every day? She goes, no, I'm not. I said, then I challenge you. I have my top 14, which are on my website. I give them away for free. Here they are. I want you to promise to do them for the next 21 days, every day. And then call me and tell me what happens. And God bless her soul. She did. And she called me 3 weeks later and she goes, Chellie. I said, yeah. She goes, this is amazing. I can't believe what's happening. I'm getting money out of the air. People are paying me back loans. I forgot they owed me. I got a bonus at work. I've never gotten a bonus here before. I'm making bigger book deals. I said, have you been doing the affirmations every day? She goes, yes. I do them on the way to work. I do them at night before I go to bed. I said, so can the affirmations stay in the book now? She goes, yeah. It's the book
Oh
and
my
they're
God.
there. So it's people love to give me money. I am rich and wonderful. I'm now earning a great big income doing what makes me happy. I'm now earning all that I want. I now have riches beyond belief. And then I have a special one for the skeptical part of our brain. I needed this for me. My affirmations work for me, whether I believe they will or not. Just sort of handles it.
Oh my gosh.
Because we can be in disbelief, but
That's it. That's your
just try
superpower.
it.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. Just try it. See what happens. And then, of course, you have to stop doing all the negative stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
somebody says money, and you go, oh, there's never enough money, and all the rich have all the money, and they've charged too much for this and that, and the gas prices and the blah, blah. Just make more money, people. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your control.
Correct. It.
Yes. I love that.
I love what I do. I'm 75 years old, and people say, "Aren't you going to retire?" I go, "No, people retire to do what they love. I'm doing what I love now. There's nothing that makes me happier than somebody said, "Okay, I did what you told me, and oh my God, I can't believe the money I'm making, and I got this new job, and I got a new house, and I moved across the country, and I never would have done it if it wasn't for your book." How happy am I when I hear that?
Absolutely. Well, Chellie, I'm absolutely going to be implementing those affirmations into my daily routine because I've been
Good.
lacking on the affirmation in the affirmation department. So thank you for reminding me. And I just wanted to ask you, what are some tangible actions that can lead to wealth and abundance in 2024, obviously on top of those affirmations that we'll be speaking?
Yes. Well, one of the things that I do now, I have a program, an 8-week program that's expensive, but I have a real inexpensive program that I started when COVID started, because suddenly I have to have an online business now, not in person, not out speaking. So I started doing Facebook Live videos from the pages of my book. So I would just tell the story and then I'd tell background and then I'd tell a related story that happened since the book came out. And I started doing it every day, Monday through Friday. 10 minutes is all, plus an affirmation for the day. So I have a group of about 150 people now. It's $47 a month, but I have a special. You can do a 1 month for just $7. The discount code is Dolphin Gold, all one word, Dolphin Gold, on my website. If you sign up for the Wealthy Spirit Group, use that, and you get it for $7. Then it converts to $47 a month, but you can cancel at any time. Come, get into the habit of winning. The habit of winning means you do the same things every day. If you want to lose weight, what do? You go exercise, you go to the gym, you get a nutritionist, and you don't eat chocolate cake every day, right? Well, this is you do watch the video, you get inspired, you get uplifted, you get happy in the morning or the evening or whenever it is you listen to it. You can listen to it as a podcast, watch it as a video, or just read the page because I put that down too. So all learning styles, and everybody chimes in and says, "Okay, let's go, let's do it today. Happy holidays, everybody." It's just so fun. I do it anytime. So you can sign up on my website. It's Chellie.com. Chellie is my first name, and that's my website. I got it in 1998 before there was a big run on all of the good names.
That's so great. And I love that, you join a group like this and then you're surrounding yourself with other like-minded people, with other people that are going to lift you up. In addition to Chellie here giving us all this great information, you're really surrounding yourself with a network of people that want the same thing, that are looking at the same goal and how can they achieve it. And so that just makes you even more motivated and you'll see how quickly things start to change.
I have another little rule. You want to swim with dolphins and avoid shark and tuna. So I was working with a really angry kind of boss who was a yeller screamer. And so I read a book called Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive. And I had some good tools for dealing with angry people. But after I'd finished it, I thought, yeah, but why swim with sharks if you could swim with dolphins? Dolphins are friendly. They swim in schools. They look beautiful. They look like they're smiling. They jump out of the water, but they're also tough. They can protect other fish in the sea and ward off a shark attack. And so I had these two groups for a long time, and then I went, well, there's some people that don't fit either of these categories. They're not really bad and they're not really good either. What are they? The tuna, the food for the sharks. These are the whiners and complainers and the victims. Oh, why does this always happen to me? I did that once. I was, what? I always say I'm a tuna in recovery. Because I was, why is my life so awful? Why are these people beating up on me? Because I'm saying yes, and I'm saying yes to jobs working for angry people. You just quit that job right now. Go get another job. You have to believe you are talented. You are fabulous. You are wonderful. There's a perfect job at the perfect pay waiting for you.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
it?
Absolutely.
That's yeah, when my husband he had a job that he always came home miserable from. And it would always it would bring down the whole vibe of the house. You know, he's walking and he complain. And I told him, okay, I want you to quit your job. He's like, what? And I said, quit your job. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. And he was like, no way. And then I said, we will figure it out. I promise. Quit your job and we'll find another job that's going to make you happy. And he did. And it took maybe a couple of months for him to find a job. But I'm also a big believer in connections. And one of my friends had mentioned that her dad did insurance and he really enjoyed it. And so that was something my husband had never explored. And I said, hey, why don't you look into insurance? Her dad worked from home. He had a company car. And I said, maybe this is something that you can explore because he's always been really good with like contracts and things. And he's now been working in insurance for 7 years. He loves it. He's super happy, but it all came from just saying, just quit your job. And we were not swimming in money at the time. I can tell you, I was furloughed at the time, but it was something where I believed his happiness and fulfillment meant more than the money at the time. Then
Make that decision that I'm going to work at this job and I hate because I need the money. You've just ruined your life. You are so wise to have said, just quit that. There's got to be something else. I had a similar kind of story when I was young, going to college, and I needed to get a summer job. And I went to take the typing test at the auto club, and I was so dreadful. I was so nervous. My hands shook, and I couldn't type. And I remember the woman taking the page out of the typewriter and looking at it and saying, oh, this will never do. And I said, okay, thank you, goodbye. And I got in my car, and I'm driving down the street, and I'm going, well, what am I going to do now? And then I thought, what would I like to do? And right at that moment, I saw the sign Whittier Florist. And I pulled into the parking lot and I walked in and said, I'm looking for a job. And the woman said, are you a designer? And I said, yes. I
Oh,
don't know where that came from.
I love it.
Yes. And she said, okay, come back here and design something. So I'm looking around real quick. I had put flowers together a time or two. I had some idea about it. So I went back and I put some things together. And she goes, okay, I'll tell the boss about you. Come back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and talk to him. I said, okay. And I showed up that morning at 9 o'clock and I met him. He said, yeah, what's your name? I said, Chellie. And he said, so you want a job here? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, you're hired. And I said, okay, when did I start? He said, come on back right now. And I had a summer job there every year for 3 years.
that's so great.
I really don't know where that came from. I was just desperate. Desperation will do it sometimes. You just take a risk.
Uh-huh.
I just figured I wasn't going to die if I said, oh no, then I was going to get a no. I'd rather have a 50-50 shot at getting something than zero. So just say yes.
Yes. I love that's another great affirmation to take into this new year. Just say yes. Just try it.
Yes.
Why not? What could it hurt?
Make sure you're dealing with a dolphin, though, not a shark.
Yes. Yes.
Don't say yes to sharks or tuna.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Chellie, this has just been such an amazing and inspirational and just moving conversation. Me and Christina just wanted to sincerely thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your expertise, and your care, your just genuine spirit. And I want everyone listening to be able to follow you and learn about you and get as much from what you have to offer as possible. So would you be able to share your platform so that we can follow you along?
Thank you very much. My website is Chellie.com. My email is Chellie@Chellie.com. So if you can spell Chellie, you got me forever. Chellie. So all the things I do are there, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all of those.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. This has been such an incredible conversation. I really Truly can't wait for our viewers and our listeners to listen to this conversation and take away those nuggets and hopefully kick 2024 off on the best possible financial foot.
That's what I want more than anything. I would love to hear from any of your viewers if they put this into practice and something good happens. I like to know.
Absolutely. I'm going to go back. I'm going to write down those affirmations. I'm going to put them in my bathroom, in my room, in my desk. That way I could say them every day.
Yes, just go get them off my website. It'll print it out and it'll tell you some instructions on how to do them and when to do them. Because it matters how you say them. You can't go, people love to give me money. You know, you have to go, people love to give me money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chellie. I really appreciate you being here today.
Wonderful talking to you. And thank you so much for the invitation, letting me do my work in the world. I'm so happy.
The pleasure is absolutely ours. Thank you so much, Chellie.
All right. Thank you.